Welcome back to God is Alive. My name is Serena, and here I speak all about what it truly means to have a personal relationship with God. We have faith every day that we'll wake up tomorrow, so I want to start a fire in your heart to stop chasing the temporary things of this world and to put that same faith in God. So let's learn about God and learn to lean on God, because what's the worst that could happen? Hi my loves, welcome back to God is Alive. My name is Serena, and today I'm talking about God's calling for you. My Nana didn't finish her noodles, so I get noodles. Be right back. I feel as though a lot of people say, I feel like God's calling me to do this, and God's calling me to do that, or I don't know what God's calling me to do. And I'm here to argue, maybe the real question is, can we obey even when we don't have all the details? Because when we look at the scripture and we see how he works, for example, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 17, it says, by faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promises was in the act of offering up his only son. Abraham's a prime example of how he had to believe and obey even without fully knowing the plan. God did not give Abraham a detailed plan. He gives us step by step. He actually put Abraham in a position where he had to just trust God. And I'm going to bet my bottom dollar, and I've never used that saying before, but I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to bet my bottom dollar that God is going to do the same thing with you. That's how he works. And we have to remember, just because we have faith doesn't mean we always see or will always know the way. Having faith means we have to trust the one that does. So do we? Do we trust the one that makes the way, who sees the way even when we don't? It sounds kind of crazy. I wasn't going to say this, but I feel like saying it. The same God that we follow is the same God that told Abraham, hey, you know the son that you've been waiting years and years and years for? I want you to sacrifice him for me. Would we do that if he came to us and asked us to do these grandiose things? Or would we not do it? Because we can't see the full picture. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. Love this verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. I love this verse so much, and I say it in so many of my podcasts, because you cannot do both at the same time. You cannot trust in the Lord with all your heart and also be leaning on your own understanding. It doesn't work. It's a double-edged sword, kind of. But this verse, as well as the whole Bible, makes it clear that us believers, we are called to have obedience, faith, patience, and trust in God. But I also wanted to remind you of this verse, Isaiah chapter 30 verse 21. I love this verse. It says, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right or where you turn to the left. It's a little bit how God works. You know, when someone says, oh, God's telling me to do this, or I feel he's telling me to do that, honestly, we'll never really know if what they're saying is true. Only they know the relationship that they have with God. They could be feeling something that's totally him or totally not him. I don't know. I'm not that person. I do know that this verse is real and that it is part of the way that he works. When you're going down life, you just have that gut feeling to maybe go right instead of left or left instead of right. And sometimes we look back and realize, man, I think that was him speaking to me, and I didn't even know it. At the end of the day, having faith in him, patience in him, trust in him, walking with him, being obedient to him, it's going to lead you down the right road. It's going to. You're following all the right steps. Am I going to say you're going to go down the road without any pain or suffering or hardship? No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's look at Jesus, okay? But I am saying, if you are doing these things, the direction will come. Oftentimes, direction comes after obedience begins. Remember that verse I just read, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. The next verse after that says, in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. That's what I mean. Direction comes after obedience begins. It's almost like we're walking around in this forest. Jungle, trees, bushes everywhere. We don't know which way we came from. We don't know which way we're trying to go. We don't know if we need to go that way, right, left, straight, back, east, west, north. And then we call on God. We go, you know what? I'm going to place my faith in you. I'm going to trust in you. I'm going to be patient in you. You start walking. And you don't even know it, but you were walking in the right direction. You felt lost. You called on him. You started being obedient. Before you know it, you found the path. And everything becomes straight like a highway. It's like, oh, that's where I need to go. Right there. It becomes so clear. It's like, right there. That's where I need to be going towards. And he doesn't need to give us the full map. Just a heart that wants to follow him. Just a heart that goes, you know what? I don't know where the hell I'm going. Sorry. I want to go wherever you're going. Lead me. And that's the heart that gets led. It sounds silly. Last year, I went on a road trip, 2-day, 17-hour road trip through multiple states. Did I have memorized every single turn, every single road that I was going to go down? No. Or did I put up the GPS and the GPS just told me one step at a time? And I just trusted it all the way, states away. I trusted it. I never once looked ahead. I never once doubted it. I simply just followed it one step at a time, and I made it to my destination safely. And I don't know why we don't have the same trust for the one that made us and the whole universe. Do you know how fast the earth is going right now? It is going roughly 1,037 miles an hour. You are going 1,000 miles an hour every minute of every day. And we don't even think about it. We don't even think twice. Because we just trust and have faith that it's just going to keep going. And the truth is, God is calling for you. He knows all your goals, all your strengths, all your weaknesses, where you should go, where you shouldn't go. And he's calling you. And so I guess my question for you is, are you still waiting on the details? Or do you know what you should be doing? A lot of the times we say we want his will, we want his direction. But sometimes what we actually want is direction and control. Tell me where to go, and you know what? I got the rest. He's not like that. He's like, no, be obedient, and then I'll tell you where to go. And then I'll lead you. We like to go. Tell me where to go, and I'll get myself there. He says, no, I know where you're going to go, and you need to just trust me. So the last thing I really want to say today is, if we pray and we ask for direction, we ask for calling, be prepared to move. Be prepared to go. Be prepared for anything. When we call on him and we want our calling and we want our purpose, he might give it to you, but will you do it? I feel called to just share a really quick story. I have one prime specific example of this, and it was in 2022. I was living in an apartment with my 3 friends, and we were living there for 2 months. We were going to be living there for a year. 2 months in, they wanted us to know whether or not we would be signing the lease to live there another year. So for 2 full years. And I had only been there 2 months. My 3 roommates put down that they were, and I didn't know. And I'll just say, long story short, I ended up falling to my knees, praying to God in a way that I honestly have never done before and never done truly since. Like, I have never truly been this desperate. I was so desperate for a direction, which way to go. It sounds stupid, but for me, it was the environment I was living in was not for God, if that makes sense. So I was pulled between the life I was living in or maybe a new life. I had already felt conviction with where I was living and what I was around. And I kind of knew in the back of my head that God did not want me to be around these things anymore. But I didn't know how to get out of it. And it would have been 10 times easier to just renew my lease, live there 2 years, and continue living in it. But I knew that I might have struggled internally if I did that. So in this moment, I called on him. And I don't know why he did this, but this white light, it came over me. And it was so surreal. I was really scared. I remember thinking, is this an angel? Is this just God's presence? But I remember being really scared. And there was like this little voice in my head telling me to calm down and to relax. And I remember it taking me like a full straight minute to actually calm down and relax. I mean, it was really bright. And all of a sudden, it just came over me that he did not want me to reassign my lease. That when the year was done, he wanted me to move out. And he told me that one day I was going to be a caregiver for my grandmother, my Nana. And to plan for that, like, all I really knew was do not resign my lease, and that one day I was going to be a caregiver. And after this experience, and I did end up seeing something, but I don't know why. I don't want to spend this podcast telling you the story of what happened to me that day. Just know that there was something I saw that day that has not come to light. But it is 2025. And I started being her caregiver in February. It took 3 years. 3 years. Or, roughly. And I'm not gonna lie. I remember for about a week getting out of that vision. I was like, yeah, I'm not resigning my lease. God told me not to. Okay, first of all, I had to be careful who I told this to, because some people might look at me like, you're nuts. You're crazy. But like, when you have that kind of stuff happen to you, you don't really care what anyone thinks. So you're like, okay, believe me or not, I don't care. But here's what started happening to me. After about a month went by, my life continued and I moved on. And my roommates were asking me, so what are you going to do? Are you going to resign or are you going to move out? And I'm like, what do I tell them? Do I tell them I got this vision from God? They're not going to believe me. I ended up telling one. Anyway. And it hit me. I had a decision to make. That decision was still there. It was still on the table, and it really hit me. I'm like, dude, what would happen if I renewed my lease? Because it really started to hit me at this moment. Like, this isn't even just about, should I renew my lease? Should I not renew my lease? Now I literally have proof that I should not. It would be so dumb to ignore that, right? So I decided right then and there, if it is truly that important for me not to renew my lease, that you literally gave me this whole white light and told me this, okay, I have like literally no other choice but to trust you, because why wouldn't I? I went to you for advice. I went to you for a question. You gave me an answer. How often does that like truly happen? What am I going to do? Ignore it? No. So I did. I listened to him. I'm like, yeah. So when am I going to be this caregiver? I lived out of my suitcase for a year. For over a year. And that was one hell of a year. One interesting year. That year taught me a lot. Number one, it taught me how to pack a damn suitcase. I could pack a suitcase like better than a mug. Really well. You can imagine in that year I doubted a lot. I doubted everything a lot. But I still never stopped acting in obedience and faithfulness and trust. Even when it was a little bit. Even when it was 5%, 3%, 10%, 50%. And every time it inched me where he wanted me to go. Every single time. The reason I decided to make this and share this story is because if you're going to ask him for direction, I want you to be prepared for anything. And I want you to be prepared to say yes. Because you're going to have a choice. And a lot of the time, the thing that he's calling us to do is not easy. It's usually easier to say no, or to put it down, or to walk away, or to flee like Jonah did. I'm saying as someone who is kind of going through it a little bit, say yes. Be a doer. James chapter 1 verse 22. But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Be a doer. Be a doer. D-O-E-R. I asked you this in the very beginning of the podcast. Can you obey even when you don't have all the details? And I said, and I'm willing to bet, that that's what he's going to do to you. And you know why? Because that's exactly what he did to me. And he's still doing to me. Get used to it. Get comfortable. Which is trusting that he's got you. Your path straight like a highway, as long as you're patient and faithful and obedient. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast. Today's song of the day is Can't Steal My Joy by Josiah Queen and Brandon Lake. This song is really good. It always makes me want to get up and dance. It's truly just about how the world cannot steal our joy because the world isn't the one that gave it to us in the first place. And if the world didn't give it, it can't take it away. I got my joy from him, and none of you can take it away from me. And it makes you just want to get up and praise. And yeah, thank you so much. And I cannot wait to talk to you again next time.